remember y'all came in, like, well, Anna came in and y'all were fighting. And it's giving you're bitter that they formed a friendship. Mind you, they wouldn't have had to do this if Natalie would have Scotty's back and Biggie would have Anna's back. It's clearly that their two friends did not have their backs. We my new bitch look like Halle Berry. Hello girls, hello boys. This is Royalty Tea Room, and we're back with the official Baddies Africa premiere, episode 1. So kind of we're just gonna talk about the episode, what happened, and everything. I have a few things to say before we get into that. I feel like, because I did watch Baddies Gone Wild too, and I did like Baddies Africa just a little bit more because I am obviously a fan of some of these girls, and Baddies Gone Wild, we don't know them yet, but I did watch Baddies Africa, and then directly after I watched Baddies Gone Wild, so I will recap that as well. Stay tuned for that. And then I really liked that this episode, it didn't seem too drawn out. There was just like maybe one or two scenes I felt like were a smidget, but the same people I didn't like last season, it's kind of the same now. And I'm actually proud of a certain someone, but we'll get into those details in a second. Y'all let me know if you liked the episode, what you think about the season. We will talk about the taboo mentioned in this episode that people are going on like crazy online for, as they should. But yeah, we're just gonna jump into it. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel. So it starts with a recap of last season. And then it shows a scene in Kenya. It's like somewhere in Kenya. And it looks like Tommy's coming in on her camel. And then like her and Rolly are like going back and forth and stuff. And then they show like a smidget of that fight scene. And it looks like Rolly dropped her. Like, I'm a fan of Tommy, don't get me wrong. But I was like, oh, get up, sis. I don't know. Maybe they went like multiple rounds or something. Who knows? So then it's like the intro. And I feel like the intro kind of ate. I know one YouTuber was saying that they were like using CapCut. And I was like, oh, okay. But I mean, I liked it versus like, obviously Baddies ATL or like Caribbean. But yeah, I don't know. They really need to like invest in that introduction just a hair. And then the looks I liked. This has nothing to do with how I feel about these people. Bad Dolly. I love Anna Max, Scotty's, and I did like Natalie's look for the intros, so I liked it. So now, it opens with Natalie narrating, as she always does. Did you miss me? Blah, blah, blah. We're like, I mean, how can we miss you? We literally saw you 2 weeks ago, but okay. Then they're all in Atlanta, because they started off in Atlanta before they flew to Africa. I don't know which country they went to first. And then Natalie walks, and I feel like her walking monologue, whatever, was way too long. I was like, it's been like 3 minutes. We know who Natalie is. We know how she walks. On to the next. Please and thank you. And then the producer's just like, do you want to introduce yourself? And Natalie's just like, you already know who I am. Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. And Natalie says that that nice her is gone. And I feel like she says that like every season. It's like, okay, whatever.
I'm somebody that can take so much bullying and picking on. Everybody has their breaking point. You know what I'm saying? I've cried enough. I've been picked on enough. I've had all my stuff ruined. I've had my character jeopardized. I've had my name ran through the dirt by these bully ass bitches. And I'm done. Crying is the furthest from what the I'm fitting to do, son.
You look psycho.
The furthest.
Sure it is. So then Natalie's like going to this restaurant to meet up with some of the OGs, and Rolly's next for her monologue. And at this point I was like, oh my gosh, they're dragging the entrances. Like, can we just like, I mean, of course we have to show it is the foundation, but the way that it was so long, that what they were doing, like with all the flower petals and the security guys and the walk to the car and then the walk out of the car, I was like, sum it up, please. We could have gotten just like a walk in the restaurant, you know what I mean? I don't know. And I liked Rolly's look in her confessional. I thought it was tea. I liked it. You know, I'm not really a fan of Rolly, but I give her props. They meet up in the restaurant, and it's cool. Rolly says that she's very appreciative of going to Africa. She says that like where she comes from, a lot of people don't get these opportunities. So that was nice, because she kind of like gave her props to Natalie. And even like they cut off they started like playing Rolly's confessional sound, but in the actual scene, I could read Rolly's lips, and she says, "It's because of you, Nat." So it's like they probably cut that out, not to be malicious or anything, but Rolly was giving Natalie her flowers. I did peep that. So then Natalie introduces DTB, and she kind of says, you know, DTB did her big one, but she keeps talking online, and I don't know, but I feel like DTB's cute. Like her confessional was cute. And mind you, she kind of skipped at what happened at the reunion. Like, she didn't say, you know, she caught me off guard, she pimp smacked me, like, none of that. I was like, oh, okay, I see. Then Big Lex gets introduced, and I'm just thinking, why is she here? Why is she here? Like, who wanted her back? People say she was MVP. Those votes, no, there's no way she was MVP. Like, we liked her at first, but when she got caught up with Summer, and I'm not even gonna say Dolly, because Dolly did leave at some point. Mostly Summer. It's like we really didn't like her, and obviously I'm always gonna love Jayla, so I really didn't appreciate her attacking her for no reason, or Scotty. So it's like, I don't live for Lex, and I probably never will, but never say never, right? And then they introduced, oh, I loved how Lex was just like, you know, last season I didn't really know what's up, but this time I know what to do. I'm not being nice to you guys anymore. I'm tired of sparing you. Girl, what do you mean sparing us? I heard that Tasiki wanted to fight her at the reunion, allegedly, and she backed down. So it's like, you are basically saying you're going to keep coming for the little girls and you're not going to keep sparing them. Noted. Gotcha. Summer comes back, and you guys already know how I feel about that. But at the end of the day, whatever I feel doesn't matter. So I'm not even going to waste my breath on her. Just know I wasn't pleased when I saw her on my screen. No. Rolly says that the big three are fun. And I never liked Rolly. But it's like, well, actually, no. I obviously liked her One More Chance. And as Baddies progressed, she just declined. But I'm just like, okay, they might be fun, but look at what they represent. Just ghetto. Just classless. Distasteful. I mean, like if I was this, I would not want the bum three on my network. They don't even ring in ratings. They like make people they make people angry, you know what I mean? That's just what I see online. Dolly comes back, and her fit was tea. I was like, oh, I liked her confessional fit with all the colors. That was good. Pretty Pete comes back, and I love the blonde. You know, she says, I should have whipped some of you issues more. And I was like, true. I love her, though. I said that Pretty Pete was my personal favorite on my Baddies Midwest recap. So y'all know I love me some Pretty Pete. Ivory's back, and I also love her fit in the confessional as well. She's not taking no BS. She never has, though. So she really didn't have to say all that. It was like, Ivory, we know what you about. We know what you can do. Do more. We love you. Then Cold Killer gets introduced. She seems cool. Fanny, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, gets introduced. ... Russian Cream gets introduced. I don't like saying her name. I don't know. It's kind of like, you know, some people don't like the word moist. I don't like really cream that much. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, my first impression of her, she looks a little like, of course, I'm probably going to eat my words because you know how it is the beginning of the season and the end. But my first initial thought seeing her on my screen, I was like, ew. But no shade, no shade. Just the first thought. I want to see her progress. She said that she came out here to level up her life. Kay Rican gets introduced, and a lot of people said that she reminds them of Nunu, and I just thought she was ghetto. But that's initial thought. Don't stone me. And then she says she wants to put bitches out of their career. Oh my god, why? Obviously, this is someone that Natalie has talked to and said, hey, do this for me. I'm assuming she's talking about Diamond or Rolly. I don't know. Tavi baby, she gets introduced. And I'm pretty sure she's the one that Lex keeps beating up. I was like, she's talking about some, oh yeah, I'm about that life. But in the trailer, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one that Lex kind of had to put on the floor, right? Right? Yeah, I think I'm right. LCK gets introduced, and she's from South Africa, I think. Or is it Zimbabwe? I'm pretty sure it was one of those two. But I know her grandfather is VP. I think it was Zimbabwe. Guys, I'm sorry. It was so many girls, like, from Baddies Gone Wild to Baddies Africa. It's like a lot of names, and I did try my best to remember them or write them down or do something, so please don't stone me if I get people's names wrong. Choco Brown, is it Choco or Coco? You know, Choco Brown gets introduced, and I love her accent, but I come from parents with accents, so it's no shade, but everything she was saying kind of reminded me of, like, my family, and sometimes when they say things, it's funny. Obviously, I'm not, because I'm African, too, but it's just, like, if you got family members who have an accent, you already know how it is. No shade. And then Natalie says that Tommy, Marissa, Amber Rose... Side note, Natalie said that Amber Rose was African descent. I did not know this. I thought Amber Rose... Let's move on. And then Stunna Girl. And can I just say, when Natalie was, like, in her confession, she just seemed very annoyed. She just seemed like she did not want to be there. I'm assuming this was around the time that whole live incident happened. Rolly has a new confessional fit in this next confessional fit scene. And she talks about Biggie being in timeout. She said, she told her about that entitlement stuff. I was like, really? You talked to her? Interesting. But hey, it is kind of ironic that, like, Biggie was saying all that stuff at the reunion, and now it's like, you're out of a job. And then Rolly is pissed with Scotty and Anna. I'm sorry. Natalie is pissed with Scotty and Anna. And she said that she's making everyone starve because they always say that Zeus doesn't feed them. And I was like, I mean, that's queen stuff. That was good. But that's not nice, Natalie. We talked about this. And then Scotty's in her confessional eating pretty much all the girlies up. I felt like the fit was mid. And, okay, she was eating everyone up, and I know a lot of people don't like what she was saying, but I did. She said, it's called pretty privilege. You would want it too. I was like, I like that. I like it. Oh, and then she said something about something, and then she, like, winked at us. I was like, okay, she's giving the digs. It might be a little we gotta put the pieces together, but I thought that was very cute. I love it. I love to see a girl, step on a show that she got what it is, like wordplay, you know what I mean? So I liked it. I love a good read anyways, even if it wasn't like, you ishes are ugly and I am the baddest ish. It was like, okay, Scotty, you know who you are, you know what you represent. I like it. I know a lot of people don't like Scotty. I do. So y'all gonna hear me say that a lot. So then Scotty comes in, and Scotty and Natalie are at the table, and Scotty's kind of getting introduced and stuff. And then Anna's confessional fit. Okay, so then Anna gets introduced as well. I feel like Anna's confessional fit was also mid. But her second fit that she had, I didn't really think it was good. I don't know if it was the eyeliner or just, like, it seemed a bit basic. I don't know. But Anna walked in and she was kind of already on 10. She was like, I don't need a welcome, because Natalie was trying to, like, say welcome to Africa even though they were in Atlanta. Okay. And I was just like, I don't need an introduction, blah, blah, blah.
Bitch, you're a fake ass bitch, but I'm not going for it, so I'm calling your ass out on it.
Natalie's just like, it's crazy that you guys are BFFs when I remember y'all came in, Anna came in and y'all were fighting. And it's giving you're bitter that they formed a friendship. Mind you, they wouldn't have had to do this if Natalie would have Scotty's back and Biggie would have Anna's back. It's clearly that their two friends did not have their back. So now they had to, like, have each other's back. I think Natalie's missing the big point, and Biggie. So, yeah, they didn't really, like, oh, we're going to be best friends. It was like, you have no choice. Like, she don't like her. They jumping us. I mean, that's the way I see it. But Scotty is clocking Natalie all the way, and I live for it. Don't get me wrong. I don't have a personal issue with Miss Nunn. I feel like she's like an auntie because I literally, like, grew up watching her in a way. Oh, I love Scotty, don't get me wrong, but that second confessional fit, no. Never again. You know, and we talked about this for the Midwest, that one fit she wore and everyone didn't like. This confessional fit was giving British made in the 1800s. I was like, oh, I don't like it. It's not baddie at all. She tries to be creative and it's like, let's just slow down. Let's take a minute. Let's decompress. But I didn't like it. Natalie did not like that Scotty. So Natalie's issue with Scotty is that, remember on Midwest, Scotty got on the table saying like, Summer, I went into Natalie's room and I got your chain, blah, blah, blah. So here's my theory. I feel like, because, I mean, everyone thinks they know about Scotty's personal life and like her and the pepper, which is none of my business. I don't care. Do what you do all day. Twice on Sundays. But I feel like she might have gotten that chain from Lemmy's room and putting it on Natalie. Natalie doesn't like that because Natalie likes setting people up and she doesn't like getting set up, and that's the truth. So it caught Natalie off guard and she didn't like that because it's like, no, tell the truth. You actually got it from, you know, your man's room, not mine. And obviously Scotty's not going to say where she actually got it from. So that's why I feel like Natalie might be upset. Any other reason, I feel like it's not valid. Because let's say if she actually was in Natalie's room and Natalie did give it to her, and Natalie was just upset because like she put her in a weird situation. At the end of the day, Scotty didn't lie. I feel like Natalie's so upset because she was actually in Lemmy's room, and Natalie's upset because like, oh, Scotty gets away with everything, pretty, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I understand why Natalie would be upset if it was, you know, what my theory is about being in Lemmy's room. But at the same time, it was a key. It was funny, like, get over it, Natalie. But Natalie doesn't get over things, and I've known that for years. So then Natalie says that she doesn't care about Scotty or Capri. Okay, I understand if you don't like Scotty, but Capri too? No. Disgusting. It's a dog. It's a dog. And then Natalie starts going crazy. She's like, oh, every time Big Lex come around, you be hiding. She like got under the table, and I was like, whoa. You good? And then now like they kind of want to fight. You know, Natalie like runs up on Anna, and I don't know. The run up was whack. Natalie, I've seen you fight better. No. So then like Rolly, okay, so like they're all kind of trying to get to each other, but security's blocking. And then I guess Scotty throws a porcelain dish.
Shut the up! Yeah, I'm gonna throw it! Bitch!
With no food on it, by the way. And Rolly gets mad because it hit her. And my thing is like, okay, you're a big girl. Even if it did hit you, how did you even know? Because you heard the clank on the floor, not on your stomach. No shade. But yeah, she kind of was getting mad, and I just felt like she was doing too much. Like, they're arguing, things are flying. She doesn't mean to hit you. Some people are like that. Like, if you're fighting with someone and something hits them, they're like on 10. I'm not, because like, unless it hits this right here, yes, and like causes damage. But I just feel like, let's say I'm in a mall, some girls are fighting, someone throws a shoe and it hits the back of my leg. I can leave, you know? They're fighting. I don't know. Call me weird, I guess. So then Natalie's just being really edgy. And then they're both like calling each other ugly and hideous. Scotty says that Natalie wishes she was in this pretty category as Lex and Scotty. A lot of people online are saying like Scotty's not that pretty. I feel like Scotty is gorgeous. I feel like Lex is pretty, but I don't know. It's just, I don't like Lex. And then, you know, I don't like the long toe thing. And she's like a basketball player. She's not as feminine as she could be. Don't attack me, just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Scotty's gorgeous. I don't think she's like quote unquote ugly like people try to say. But she didn't call Natalie ugly technically. She just said, you know, you're not in the pretty category. And then this is like when the live starts happening, because you can hear Natalie's like, oh, I'm live now. Like, let me out. They're holding me hostage. Blown out of proportion. Now that I see behind the scenes, girl. I'm thinking when I heard that live, like, Natalie was getting held down by like 6 guards and all this stuff. That's what happened. That's why she wanted to rant. And it's like, Natalie, none. You. She ain't never gonna change. She feels set up, by the way. The irony. Don't feel good, does it? And then Natalie's really upset, and like, you know, Scotty and Anna are talking about how they did try to be nice. And I feel like Scotty, I mean, I don't know, they kind of walked in a little hot. And when I say hot, like, you know, Natalie said that's cute, and Scotty was just like, oh, that's cute, but I'm not. It's like, you know what I mean? Natalie was giving a compliment, even if it was fake. I guess it's baddies. You can't be really fake, I guess. But I don't know. In the real world, it's just like, keep it diplomatic. Anna came in like, what's up? But it's not like Natalie didn't deserve them coming in hot. So, hey. So then they finally get to eat. Because, like, Rolly checks on Natalie, and Natalie's pissed. She don't want to hear it. So then Rolly goes back, you know, saying she got lamb chops and ham hocks and turkey legs and all this stuff. So then they start eating, and, Rolly gets upset. She's like, you know, y'all both were calling each other ugly. And Scotty's like, well, I didn't call her ugly. And Rolly's just like, own your ish. You called her ugly, and she did to you. She's just yelling. And I'm just like, Scotty, do not take this. She's not your mother. You guys have already fought. And Rolly and Natalie aren't even like this. Like, mind you, Scotty didn't call her ugly. She just said she was in the pretty category, technically. Natalie called her ugly and said she didn't care about her and her dog and every other name in the book. So yeah, I don't know. And then Scotty kind of clocks her in the confessional. She's just like, just because you slung around a twig and now you big bad. And I was like, yes, say it to her face. Like, that was good, but I needed to, you know, say it to her face. So Anna said that she has the dinner with Stunna because, you know, Natalie kept saying, we're meeting with Stunna later, like taunting her. And Anna said she might get jumped. So I was like, oh, poor baby. I don't like seeing anyone get jumped at all. Next scene, Anna called DTB, and I love DTB's confessional fit, by the way. And, you know, she kind of told her everything that happened. DTB says it's basically them versus us, which is true. And then she's, like, thinking about ways to strategize, which is, like, she's so smart, because, yes, like, you have to literally build an alliance. It is Survivor. They should, like, low-key put that on their Instagram. So then now DTB pulls up to a club / dinner or whatever, and she's trying to bring a team against Natalie, because obviously this was when Natalie was saying she's gonna have 5 of the newbies jump DTB for whatever reason. So I think that's very smart of DTB to try to create some bond, because you can't be out here alone, Leia. And Tink is pregnant. Pretty B and Ivory walk in, and I don't like someone's confessional fit. I didn't write down who. Oh, I didn't like Ivory's new confessional fit, but I love Pretty P's confessional fit. And then Pretty P and DTB like talk about their issue and they resolve it, which I like to see, because I did not feel like it was that serious. Ivory feels like they should squash it, and so Ivory says that they have bigger fish to fry, by the way. And then they showed like a backstory when Ivory got jumped by Stunna's goons. And I don't have a problem with Stunna, but that was not cool at all. Like, one-on-one, whatever. I mean, maybe if one girl jumped in. I don't like it, but maybe. But 4 girls and 2 dudes? What the world? Ivory, like, she can fight, but she ain't no Mark Henry. Like, this is just a girl with the same body parts as you. You know what I mean? Like, oh my. Backstory. Ivory was telling us that Natalie texted her before all this happened saying, where are you? And Ivory told Natalie where she was. Big mistake. She didn't know better. It's okay. And then all of a sudden, guess who was in the hotel lobby waiting for her? Stunna. So it's like either Natalie told Stunna or Natalie told someone else to tell Stunna. You know, Natalie's a Capricorn. Sometimes they like to hide their tracks. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's either one or the other. And it has something to do with Natalie. So Ivory, get her. So then DTB says that she invited the lame 3. And they just did it. She did it because in her mind, she's trying to have them join her alliance to go against Nat. I don't know why she would think that. I mean, it's a cute thought. It's not going to work because you have Summer ruining it. It was literally just Dolly and Lex, maybe. But Summer just too ignorant, too arrogant, too all of that. It wasn't going to work, babe. Ignore that, sorry. So then the lame 3 pull up, and I hate Summer's fit and her hair. Dolly, you know, kind of comes up to Ivory, just like, what it do, with her Mississippi accent.
Hell no, she not sitting next to me. What?
Don't do that.
No, hell no.
Other side.
I don't want to sit next to this bitch.
What? I'm confused. Alicia,
Because I don't
come
like
over here.
Alicia.
And they start fighting. Mink, mink, mink. Summer jumps in. I mean, I didn't really have to tell y'all that. Y'all knew, right? Because that's what she always does. And then DTB jumps in. Like, don't jump my friend. And then Pretty P, like, stood up on the couch just in case. And Lex was like, oh, hold up. So they were going to, like, kind of fight. But then I think so. I was watching a YouTube video. And the person said, because Pretty P was up 7 feet higher than Lex's 10-foot self already, she wasn't going to win that, which is true. But at the same time, I feel like they don't have an issue. And even though they did fight, like, that first episode of Midwest or something, I feel like it was just, your friend is jumping in, so I'm going to help my friend. But it was already 2v2 already, so they didn't really need to. It was like, if Pretty P would have jumped in, then Lex would have tagged her. But, you know, they were just like, you know, she on one or whatever. Like, they was just, it wasn't that serious. Like, if we got to fight, we will, but I don't have, like, I'm not pressing it, you know? Why did Summer jump in? I don't know. Why is she back? I don't know. Someone answer my question, please. Lex confessional fit is cute, but I did hear someone, a YouTuber, said that it was from Amazon, which is like, okay, we love a baddie on a budget. Who cares, you know? But it's cute. And I feel like Lex low-key thought that they were going to talk at the sitting. I feel like Lex, Ivory, DTB, and Lex, Ivory, DTB thought they were going to talk. Pretty P knew better, and then Summer was already on that BS, and Dolly was already on that BS with the rings on her fingers. And then Summer's talking the whole time, and I'm just like, ugh, wrap it up. Ivory said, you know, she needs it without the rings, and then they kind of go at it for round 2, and I feel like Ivory was getting her. I feel like Ivory was getting her first and second round, like, more hits, and she blacked her eye, of course. Mind you, a lot of people are saying, oh, they got eye for eye. No. Ivory literally said in the bathroom, my eye was already black from last night because I got jumped by 6 people, which is understandable. Something has to be black, right? So, like, on her face. So, I think her eye getting black was not from Dolly. Maybe she might have, like, hurt it a little bit more, but definitely didn't black it. Ivory blacked Dolly's eye. So, yeah. And then Summer jumps in again when they went for round 2. Why can't security hold her? Like, they want us to feel this way. I'm so tired of it. And then Big Lex stops Pretty P from jumping when, like, because Diamond jumped in when Summer jumped in. And then Pretty P was like, oh, like, no jumping. And you just hear Big Lex in the back, like, no. Shut up. Your friend is doing this. Like, your friend needs to get slapped, Big Lex. Like, I'm not going to do it, but I'm just saying, you know? Ugh. So now Dolly needs ice. And then DTB versus Summer. And DTB clearly won. Like, Summer was, I don't know.
Run up to her.
No. I just gotta handle this real quick.
You gotta have what? No, but Jen. Stand up,
Shannon.
And then Lex really said that Summer learned a few things. Deception indicated. Bad Dolly says that she knows. Okay, so Ivory said, you know, that a sea is smelling through the thong. Dolly said, I know. Bumbaclat. Like, I feel like, am I the only one who caught that? Oh, no. Please get them off of the network. It's one thing to get on my nerves, but to smell too? So then, you know, they say that they're Team Natalie and DTB is trying to school them. They're not listening because they're whack. I swear, if it was like back in the day, like 1600s, they would be like the Uncle Toms, like from Django, like Samuel L. Jackson's character. That's them. That's them all day. So then DTB is clocking Dolly. She's just like, me. I laughed. And I feel like Dolly's second confessional fit was hideous. Well, not hideous, ugly. Yeah, and then they're also not joining alliances, and they don't have a reason. Literally, DTB's like, join us, and they're just like, no, we with Natalie. Nothing. Like, they didn't say a reason. They could have just said because she's cutting the checks. Like, that would have at least been real. Then DTB clocks Summer, and Summer's just like, I see you fixed your bald spot, and DTB's like, and I got 15K from it. What's up? And it's like, yes, because Summer, you could never. Never. And like, you had that awful braids and stuff, you could have gotten an endorsement deal for some shampoo. But no, you're not that smart. Okay. And then we are going to talk about Summer saying that about Emmett Till and how Ivory looks like him. Bad, poor choice of words, awful, distasteful. Zeus, you aired that. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. When she said that, I was like, yo, I'm actually thinking about like canceling my subscription. Because really, Emmett Till, do not ever bring black causes, historical black strifes into this network unless it is positively spoken. None of that junky stuff. No, that was bad, Zeus. There's no way around it. And Summer stole a purse on camera. Yeah. So she's a thief, ignorant, prejudiced, all that above. I want to say what I'm thinking, but I can't. DTB 8 with F them big three. It's just big we. I loved it. I was like, yes. And then Pretty P's asking for her purse, and I was like, holy dang. And she looks pissed, but she looked pretty when she was upset, but she looked like she was about to set the world on fire. So now Natalie goes to a place called Rocksteady, and Nat is smoking a cigarette. I was like, oh gosh. Stunna comes and she's getting searched because, you know, Stunna hangs with them people. If you know, you know. And Nat is really calm, you know. Mind you, she's super calm talking to someone who exposed her like a year and a half ago. But hey, get to the money, right? Natalie says that Anna talks too much, and I'm just like, no, you talk too much. Natalie says that she didn't know anyone have beef with Stunna. Lies, fornication, deception, all of that. And I know for a fact that Natalie told Stunna about Ivory's Hotel in one way or the other, either directly or indirectly. But I know Natalie Nunn had something to do with it. So then, yeah, Stunna stands up. Anna comes in and she clearly has rings. Like, she has a jacket and her hands are like this. And I'm just like, girl, you cannot be any more inconspicuous. And then, you know, Natalie and Anna get into it and then they start fighting. And then that's when the episode ends.
Bitch, you're standing behind security because you know security is going to save you. But guess what, boo? Camila's not going to put my hands on you.
Next time, it's the continuance of Anna versus Natalie. It low-key looks like Anna was getting her. Like, she didn't beat her up and Natalie's wig was still on, but she minked her at least twice in the head. Then it's Stunna versus Anna. Looks like Stunna got her. She, like, shoved her into the bar table. I was like, ooh. Natalie says Anna will get effed up all season. That was funny. Then the baddies arrive in Africa. Summer starts things with the newbies on the bus. Mind you, it's funny. Summer, you're still not on the PJ. Then they get to the house. Pretty P says Summer has her stuff. Then they fight. And then Summer throws her jewelry in like a pool. And she's like, fish for that stuff. And it's like, someone drag her again. I wrote in all caps, I hate her. And then this big brawl happens with like the newbies and like the little three. And then Summer's on the floor, period. And then Lex versus Scotty. And Lex snuck Scotty, not cool. But some people are saying that's the only way she could have gotten to her. And it's like, okay, you got your fight, you got your fight. Either way, Scotty, if you lose, I still love you. You stood your 10 for someone who snuck you. So there's that. Episode was cool. A great start to Baddies Africa. It's probably going to go through till Christmas. So keep up with the episodes and watch my recaps. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. Bye. My new bitch look like